students, good morning to everyone. Yeah, how are you all? I hope you are all fine and here welcoming to my science class again, right? So, what we were discussing in the previous class? Yeah, we were discussing about the chapter number 5, that is e-water and weather, right? Yes. Yeah, now in today's class we are going to start a new topic, that is seasons. So in this class we shall now learn about the seasons and the main seasons. What are the seasons we are having? What are the seasons we can discuss, and also the effects of weather for our life is also discussed in today's class. Okay, yeah. Now let's start our class, that is about seasons we can discuss here. So seasons. What do you mean by seasons means here? Mainly when the average weather conditions remain more or less for the same for longer period of time, then it is called as season, and it may extend up to a few months. We have in India we have five main seasons. What are they? Summer, monsoon, autumn, winter, and spring. Right, seasons. So we all learned about the weather. So what is weather? How it is actually? What are the factors that are that affect the weather? Means we can say that the different conditions like cloud, hot, cold, cloudy, rainy. So these are some of the conditions that affect the weather. So right, the in our surroundings, so all those are all called as the weather. Then here, see, so if these weather conditions remain for a longer period of time, for example, it may be cold, it may be hot, right, it may be rainy, right. So it may be anything, for example, cold, hot, rainy, and cloudy, right. So these are the conditions of the weather. So if these conditions of the weather remain over long period of time, say for example, of about 3 to 4 months, right. So if that remains for 2 to 3 months, then it is said to be the seasons, right. So then that period of time is said to be the seasons here. Okay, so then that period of time, so longer period of time in which that period experience the same weather condition is known as season. And see here, seasons ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ವೆದರ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಾತಾವರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಮಳೆ ಆದರೂ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಳೆ, ಬಿಸಿಲು, ಗಾಳಿ, ಚಳಿ, ಹೌದಾ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್, ವೆದರ್ಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸು ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ವರೆಗೂ, ಅಂದರೆ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ಸ್ ತನಕ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 2 to 3 months. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಹಾಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನಾದರೂ 2 to 3 months ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಸೀಸನ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಟ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಸೀಸನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್. ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದ ವೆದರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ರಿಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ or longer duration, then it is said to be the season. And here we are having mainly 5 seasons. So what are those 5 seasons in India? Means summer, monsoon, autumn, winter, and spring. Okay, yes, so these are the 5 seasons we are having based on these weather conditions. So let us see how these seasons are there. Means what are the conditions, what are the weather conditions during these 5 seasons? Let us see that. So summer. So in summer, how the weather condition will be? Yes, you all know that in the summer. So here, next coming month from March, after March, April to May is given as a summer holidays, right? So after completion of your exams during in the month of March, after this March, you're going to get a summer holidays, right? So every year you're going to get a summer holidays, that is during which month? April to May, right? So 2 months will be your summer holidays, because during summer you all know that the condition will be so hot, right? So the weather condition will be so hot, and most of the days are very sunny days. We will say that sunny days and hot days, because see here during summer the weather is hot most of the time, and we feel hot and sweaty. We feel thirsty and drink lot of water. And also see here there is a lot of sunlight and heat. Yes, during summer this is the most of the days. So all the days will be so much hot. And here they are hot most of the time. And the days are bigger than the nights are shorter here. So the days during summer the days are very longer, and the nights are very shorter. So we will get less time during the night and most of the time during the day. And also we feel very sweat and thirsty during summer days. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಹೌದು, ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಭಾಳ ಬೆವರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಥರ ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಹಾಟ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಸೆಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಸೆಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೋದ್ರೂ ನಮಗೆ ಸುಸ್ತಾದಂಗೆ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ? ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಬೆಳಕು, ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಶಾಖ ಜಾಸ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಿಸಿಲಿಂದ ಶಾಖ ಬಡಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಟಾಲ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ನಾವು ಬೆವರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಹೀಟಿಗೆ, ಬೆವರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಕೂಡ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ಮರ್, ಸೊ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಕಾಟನ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಮ್ಮರ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ these cotton cloths keep us cooler and they absorb the less amount of sunlight, right? So this is why we should wear the cotton cloths during summer season. And see here, summer season, in most of the times we used to drink lots of water and cool drinks for us, because we feel very thirsty, right? We feel very thirsty and also sweaty, right? And see here, lots of water from the rivers, lakes, wells, etc. also evaporates, and there is a shortage of water. Also we will discuss that in the next class. Yes, so here we all know that due to the sunlight, the water is going to be evaporated from the water bodies, right? In the rivers, lakes, seas. So in all these water bodies, the water is going to be evaporated into the sky because of the sunlight. And when we talk about particularly about summer season, so in summer season we all feel the adequate supply of water for the village areas, right? So in some of the undeveloped areas also there will be a insufficient or the not availing of water for those houses, right? So supplying of water will be adequate. So this is why, because the sunlight that causes the water to evaporate, right? So all the water that is present in the rivers, lakes, that are going to be evaporated because of the much sunlight during summer. Okay, so summer is the hottest season summer is the hottest season throughout the year, and during summer we feel very hot, and we usually use or we usually prefer for cool drinks and water for most of the times during and also tender coconut during most of the times. Okay, so this is all about the summer, and now let's talk about the monsoon. Okay, yes, during monsoon, most days are cloudy and rainy, so the sun may not show up for days. Yes, so as already told that when we ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ವೆದರ್ ರೈಟ್, ಸೊ ವೆದರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ ಡೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸಿಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋಡ ಕವಿದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೌಡಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಮಳೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ, ಸೊ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಸಿಲಿರೋದು ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋತ್ತಿಗೆ ಮಳೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್, ವೆದರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೇಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನವೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋಡ ಕವಿದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಬಿಸಿಲಿನ ಶಾಖ ಬಡಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ, ಸೊ ಸನ್ ಗೋಚರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾನೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಸನ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ, ಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ clouds. Okay, the sun is covered by the clouds, so we cannot see the sun. And also see here, the sun may not show up for days. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯನೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ದೇನೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಸನ್ನ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಸನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತರ್ದು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಸನ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಒಂದು ರೇಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಕಿರಣಗಳು, ಸೊ ಸನ್ಸ್ ರೇಸ್ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ಡ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸನ್ ರೇಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ, ಕ್ಲ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಸನ್ ರೇಸು ಭೂಮಿಗೆ, ಅರ್ತ್ಗೆ ಟಚ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಅಲೋ, ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಅಲೋ ದ ಸನ್ಸ್ ರೇಸ್ ಟು fall on the earth's surface. So we will not get the sunlight most of the times. And here during monsoon season the climate will be cloudy and rainy. ಹೌದಾ, ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋಡ ಕವಿದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಳೆ ಸದಾ ಬರ್ತಾನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗಲೂ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೂರ್ಯನನ್ನು ನಾವು ಭಾಳ ಸಲ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಡ ಹೋಗಿ ಸೂರ್ಯಗೆ ಅಡ್ಡ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಯರ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಸೀಸನ್ we won't get the sunlight because the clouds are going to be cover the sun, and here thus the sun rays do not fall on the earth's surface. And during these monsoon days most of the days will be cloudy and rainy. Okay, understood? So monsoon season nalli almost all cloudy ಮತ್ತೆ rainy ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ days. Okay, now let's move for the another season, that is autumn. So during autumn season the weather becomes tea for most of the days. It's neither hot nor cold. In this season the trees shed their leaves. Okay, yes, coming to the autumn season. Yes, now let's talk about the autumn season here. During autumn season ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಡೇಸು, ಸಮ್ಮರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಬಿಸಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾನ್ಸೂನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಆಟಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಟಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ weather becomes dry for most of the days. ಓಕೆ, ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ವೆದರ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಹಾಟ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಸಿ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚಳಿ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ, ಸಾರಿ ಇರೋ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆಟಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಟೂ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೋಲ್ಡೂ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಾ. ತುಂಬ ಬಿಸಿಲೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ತಂಪು ವಾತಾವರಣವೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೈಲ್ಡಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಟಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಗಳು ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ, ಉದುರು ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ದ ವೆದರ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡ್ರೈ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ the weather it's neither hot nor cold, and during this autumn season most of the trees are going to shed their leaves. Okay, so that is autumn season. Coming to the winter season, as you all know that winter means we are going to suffer from, or we are going to experience the chilly winter, right. That is cold. So most of the days are cold. We also see snowfall in some of the areas. Okay, so during winter season we all know that in winter season we most of the times use sweaters and blankets, gloves, socks, because to protect our body from the chilly winter, right. Yes, so during winter most of the days are very cold, and also there is a possibility of falling the snowfall. Okay, there is a possibility of snowfall in some of the areas like Jammu and Kashmir, right. So there, in those places the temperature is very low and we will observe the snowfall in such areas. Okay, that's about the winter season. Coming to the spring season, so the weather is slightly warm in spring season. This is the season of beautiful flowers. Yes, spring season. Though the weather is slightly warm in the spring season. Yes, during spring season the weather is slightly warm. Okay, so mild warm, what we can say, it's mildly hot. And in this season is mainly this season is called as the blooming flowers. Okay, it's the season of blooming flowers, because in this season most of the beautiful flowers are going to be bloom. Okay, because we will say that ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವಸಂತ ಋತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೀಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಹೂಗಳು ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಚಿಗುರ್ತಾ ಅರಳಿರ್ತವೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಸನ್, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸೀಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈ ಸೀಸನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಹೂಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ತುಂಬ ಹೂ ಬಿಡುವ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಹೌದಾ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವಾರ್ಮ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ is called as the season of beautiful flowers. Next comes is weather affects our life. So how weather affects our life, let's discuss that. So this weather affects our life or not. So the conditions like hot, cold, rain, whether these affect our life or not, let us discuss that. Coming to the food, so whether this weather affects the food, yes or no. So here weather influences our eating and drinking habits. Whether when it is hot we like to drink something cold, and when it is cold we like to drink something hot. Yes, this is absolutely correct, because food actually weather. So based upon the weather conditions we prefer to what to eat, right. We prefer what to eat during those days. So if the days are very very hot, so what type of food we usually eat, or what type of not only food here, what type of the what type of food we are going to prefer. For me, here we usually prefer the tender coconut, cold drinks, and lot of water and ice creams, juices, etc., right. So here during the summer season, and when it is hot we usually prefer for the cold ones, and when we when it is very cold, then we prefer for the hot foods, right? So we usually want the food which is very hot during the cold season, right? Yes, this weather actually affects the food. How means here, see, this food actually when it is very hot, we prefer for the cold ones, and when the day is cold or when it is very cold, and we usually prefer for the something which is very hot, right? This is how it affects for the food. And next comes is clothing. Okay, so before going to clothing, we are having something that we get different types of fruits and vegetables in different seasons, such as watermelon, mangoes, corn, cucumber, and lychees in summers, and mushrooms, carrot, lettuce, apples, and papayas in winters. Right. So these are some of the vegetables and fruits that are grown in summer and winter. Right. So right, that we use in summer and winter. Next, coming to the clothing. Yes, as I already told that during summer season we have to wear the cotton cloths, and in case of winter season we usually wear the sweaters, gloves and monkey caps, right? So coming to the rainy season, usually we wear the raincoats, right? So clothing, the type of the cloth we wear also depends on the weather. In cold weather we need a thick warm cloths and blankets, and but when the weather is hot we prefer for light colored cloths. Yes, clothing. So the type of cloths which we wear also depends upon these weather, right? So when the condition is very cold, what type of clothes do we wear? Yes, we wear the warm cloths, warm blankets. But when it is very hot, we usually prefer for the cotton cloths or the lightweight cloths, light colored cloths, right? So this is how this is how the weather affects the clothing. Next, coming to the housing. So yes, housing. The type of houses people the type of houses people live in also depends a lot on the type of weather in that region. So in mountains and rainy areas, people build houses with sloping roofs, and in hot and dry areas, the houses are built of mud walls and straw roofs. Yes. So dear students, this is very important, housing. So how these weather affect the housing means, see here, during summer days we usually prefer for the cold one, right? So the houses the houses are built of mud walls and straw roofs that keep us actually cool, right? So we usually build those type of houses that are made up of mud walls and straw roofs when we feel the summer season. And in case of winter season, in winter and rainy season, so people who live in mountain areas and rainy areas, how they actually build their home is, they build their home with the slope. See, for example, if this is a home, they actually build the home with the roof that is very slope, because see here, they build the houses with the sloping roofs, right? Because so if there is continuous raining means, and if there is continuous raining and the water, if our roof is simply like this, or if it is not a sloping roof means, the water is going to be accumulated on our terrace, and that is affecting other terrace, right? So if it is having the sloping roofs, then the water which flows through down to the earth instead of accumulating on the terrace of house, right? So the housing, so this housing is also important, because the houses which are built, that also that are also very important. And see here, in the mountain and rainy areas, the houses are built with the sloping roofs, and in case of the house in the hot and dry areas, the houses are built with the mud walls and straw roofs. Okay, so this is how weather affects our food, clothing and housing, right? So food, when we talk about the food, if it is sunny days or if it is summer days, then we prefer for the tender coconut, cool drinks or the drinks, so which keeps us cooler, right? In case of clothing, when we talk about the clothing, so we usually wear the different types of cloths based on the weather conditions. That is, we usually use some in cotton cloths during summer season and woolen cloths during winter season, raincoats, gun boots during rainy season. And in case of housing, so housing is also important, that is building our house, right? So building our house with these sloping roofs help us to avoid the accumulation of water on the surface of our house, right? So we usually use these sloping roofs in hilly areas, that is mountain and rainy areas. And when and also it depends on the type of weather, that is, if the condition are very hot and dry, the houses are built of mud walls and straw roofs, because these keep us very cooler, right? So this is all about your today's class. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. So after this, you are having tick the correct option and scramble the words to find the answer, short as well as long answer questions. So I request everyone to complete A, objective A, B. So for this short and long answer questions, I am going to give the notes. Okay. So if you don't understand anything in this class, you can ask me. Thank you. Have a nice day.